Hi everyone, my name is Akorede Adenike. You are welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time of you checking on my channel, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell for you to be notified each time I upload new video. In this tutorial today, I would like to teach you one shoulder princess dart bustier blouse with yoke. This video will be the drafting of it, while the next one will be the sewing of it. And I know at the end of this video you are going to gain one or two things, so let's get into it. To start with, I'm going to draft out my one shoulder princess dart bustier blouse that I'm making today before transferring to the fabric with the help of this basic bodice pattern. I have a video on how to draft it. I'm going to put the link in the box below for you to understand. This is the back part of it. So let me start from the front. I'm starting by adding my princess dart bustier to it. So this is my shoulder line, my neckline, my shoulder slant, my armhole line, my chest line, my bust point line, my under bust line, and my waist line. The remaining ½ inch here is for the seam allowance to join it to the peplum, and this is my nipple to nipple measurement line. So from here now, I'm going to measure what I have here to this place and find the middle of it. So I have 8.5 here. You can easily fold your tape measure like this for it to be easier for you, so to get the center of it. So this is the center of it. I'm going to come in by 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to join it like this slantly to meet here, and I'm going to draw my front armhole because this is my back armhole. Now this is my front armhole. So I'm going to place 1/4 of my bust on my chest line, and 1/4 of my bust is 9.5 because my bust is 38 inches. Here is it here. So I will now measure this here from here now to this place. So I'm going to measure what is here now. What is here now is 10 inches. I'm going to divide it by 2, find the middle of it, which is here, and to get my dart, princess dart, I'm going to measure 1 inch from this point. I hope you can understand. So that's just it. So I will easily join the 2 points to my bust point like this. Remember, I'm drafting out one shoulder princess dart bustier with yoke. So from my bust point here, I'm going to measure 1 inch downward to create my bust. So now on my under bust line, I'm going to come in here by 1.5. The bust I'm working with is not up to 40 inches. If it is 40 upward, you can make use of 2 inches on this side. So, and on this side of the under bust line, I'm going to measure ½ inch inward. So I'm going to, on the waistline, I'm going to measure 1 inch on this side and ½ inch on this side. So let it reflect on the seam allowance line too. I'm going to connect it just like this. I'm connecting it, and make sure you always blend all the sharp edges, please. So I'll just, let me use my free hand here. I hope you can see what I'm doing very well. I'll just shape it like this to meet this point. So I'm going to blend here just like this. So here too, I'm going to connect it to this place, to this under bust line. Make sure you blend this place, the sharp edges that is there. So 1 inch that I have here, I'm going to cut it out at the end of the day. I have to replace it for me not to be short of fabric while sewing, please. So I'm going to measure from this point now. I'm going to measure that 1 inch upward and make sure I rule it out. So I'll just connect it and create another armhole for the front, for the side of it, just like this. So now this is my new armhole for my side, so as you can see. So I'll now go ahead and place all the vertical measurement on it. So on my chest line, I'm going to include quarter of my bust there, and is 9.5. You know, I said my bust is 38 inches. Divided by 4 will give me 9.5. I'm going to add half inch east to it, is here. And I'm going to add, you know, I'm going to cut off 1 inch from here. I'm going to use another 1 inch to join it back. That'll give me that 2 inches. I'm going to add it to that 10 inches. That'll give me 12 inches. So this is the 12 inches here now. So on my underbust, if you want your top to be curvy at the side here on your underbust, you have to input quarter of your underbust to it. But if you don't want it to be curvy, you can leave it and move straight away to your waistline. But I want my top to be curvy at the underbust waist here. So I mean underbust side here. So I'm going to input quarter of my underbust to it. My underbust is 32 inches divided by 4 will give me 8 inches. I'm going to cut off 2 inches from here and use 1 inch to join it back, which is 3 inches. So I will now add that 3 inches to my 8 inches. It will give me 11 inches. Is it? So on my waistline, I'm going to input quarter of my waist. My waist is 34. Divided by 4 will give me 8.5. I'm going to cut off 1.5 here and use 1 inch to join it back, which is 2.5. And I'm going to add that 2.5 to my 8.5. It will give me 11 inches. So this is it here. I'm going to connect it just like this. This is my waist from my chest line to my waist, to my underbust, and from my underbust to my waist. Make sure you blend the sharp edge. You know, I said I want my underbust to be a little bit curved at the side of it. So I'm going to add my 1.5 or 2 inches seam allowance, side seam allowance to it all through. So if you're adding lining, make sure you add 2 inches to it, and if you don't have enough fabric, you can add 1.5, please. But if you are not adding lining, just make sure you add 1 inch to it, and make sure you blend this place like this. So that is it all for the front part of it. So to create that one shoulder, I have to copy all these to my second side of it. So now that I've managed to copy it on the second side of it, so I will now measure out my yoke now. I've already have 5 inches for my neck depth. So I will easily add 2 inches to it, making 7 inches for my yoke. So on the shoulder line here, armhole line, I'm going to measure from here, from this slanting, from the shoulder slant here, I'm going to measure just 7 inches for my yoke. So that 7 inches is here. So I'll now connect it to this 2 inches point that I have here, just like this. Do not let it straight, please. Make it a little bit curved, just like this. So I'll just blend it from here to my neckline here. Now I said it's one shoulder princess that Bustier blouse with yoke. So this is the yoke I'm drafting out. I'll just use my free hand to blend it up, just like this. So it will just be like this. So as for my yoke now, this is my yoke. I want to make a little adjustment for it here. So I'll just come to my neckline here and measure ½ inch and reconnect it like this. It will just be like this now. So now this is my yoke. This is where my yoke will start now till I reach here for my princess that bustier blouse that I'm making today is 1 shoulder top. So as for me to create another armhole for this side now, I'm going to measure what is here, what I have to cut out here. You know, this is my yoke. I don't need to cut this place off for the yoke. So as for this side now, I'm going to cut this place off. So I'm going to measure what is here now. What I have here now is 1/2 inch. I'm going to replace it here for me not to be short of fabric at the end of the day. So I'm going to reconnect my armhole. I'm going to reconnect it like this. So this is my new armhole for this side now. That's just it. So I'm going to move on to the back because I'm cutting the yoke of the back and the front together. So I'll put this one aside for me to move on to the back part. Now this is my back part. So this is my shoulder line, my shoulder slant, my neckline for the back armhole, my chest line, my dart for the back, and my waistline plus the seam allowance. So, and this is my zipper allowance. You can make it 2 inches or 1.5. It depends on how you want it and how much fabric you have. So I've already drafted out the back darts. So what I need to do now is to just, I don't need to add princess dart for the back, but if you are interested in adding princess dart to the back, but as for me, I'm leaving it like this. But if you are interested to add it, I'll just explain how you go about it. So I'm going to input 1/4 of my bust on my chest line here, which is 9.5 like I said earlier on. So I'm going to measure what I have here from this point now to this point. I have 10 inches. So I'm going to find the middle of it, which is here. So I'll just join it from here till this place. Let me use curved side of my ruler to join it together because I want it to be a little bit curved. I'm going to use dot for it. If you want princess dart for the back, this is how it will just be, and you could just cut it out like this. So I'll now go ahead and add my vertical measurement on my back part. So on my bust here, input 1/4 of my bust plus 1/2 inch is 10 inches. So on the waist, 34 inches. I'm starting all the measurement, all the vertical measurement on this line. You know, I said this 2 inches is for zipper allowance. So my waist now, I'm going to input 1/4 of my waist, which is 8.5. You know, I said earlier on that my waist is 34 inches. So I'm going to input 1/4 of it, which is 8.5. If I'm adding princess dart, you know, I'm going to cut off all this, but I'm maintaining it like this. I'll just add 1 inch for my dart here. I'm going to add it plus that 8.5 to give me 9.5. Here's it here. So I'll just connect it like this and add my 1.5 side seam allowance to it, just like this. That is for the back parts. I'm going to connect it like this, and to avoid zip up on the waist at the back side here, I'm going to come in by 1 inch, just like this. I'm going to connect it slantly straight to my neckline, just like this. So that is it for the back. I'm going to copy this like I did on the front, copy this on the second side of it before cutting out my yoke for both front and back. So this is back to, I'm done copying it. So I'll just fold my zipper allowance in like this. I'm going to fold it in like this. So Assuming this is the right side of my fabric, I'll just open it up like this. So this will be my wrong side of it, as you can see. So I'm going to place the wrong side of the front part on it too. Let's assume I'm working on the fabric directly. This is how I'm going to go about it. So I'm going to place it on each other like this. I'll let it align on each other very well, so for me not to make a mistake, for me not to cut wrong side of it. So this is the right side of my front part too. So I'll now go ahead and cut out my yoke for both front and back. So I'm just cross-checking if I'm not making any mistake. I'll let the line, these lines, the armhole line, I'll let it align, and the shoulder line, I'll let it align on each other before cutting out my yoke, for me not to make a mistake. I want to quickly explain one thing for you before cutting it out. If you want your yoke, assuming you want your yoke to face the right side of your fabric, you are going to draw it on this side, but I want mine to face the wrong side. That's why I'm placing it like, this side is my wrong side, and this is the left side and the right side of my top. So if you want yours to be right side of your top, you just shape it like this, let it face here just like this, but I want mine to be on the left side of my top. That's why I'm drawing it towards this side. So I'll quickly cut the yoke out now for you. So when I reach here, so I've cut all this, and when I reach here, I'll just cut it straight like this before separating the back from the front. So I'm going to cut it like this. Now this is my yoke for the front and back, as you can see. Now this is my back part and the yoke. So I'll now go ahead and cut all the necessary area to be cut off now. So the armhole, I'll fold it back before cutting it just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it, the sides and the armhole. So the neckline, the zipper side too. So when I finish cutting, now I'm done cutting the back part. Let me spread it for you to see. Here's it now. This will go for this. So this is the yoke for the back parts. Just fold the zipper allowance in like this. Here's it. So this is exactly how it will look like. This is the yoke for it, and this is the bottom of it, which is the body. So I'll move ahead to the front part now for you to see. Now this is the front part of it, as you can see, and this is the yoke for it. So I'll go ahead and fold it like this and finish the cutting of it. So I'm going to cut it this way. Now I'm done cutting the front too. I'll now spread it for you to see. So this is the yoke for it. This is the center front of it. There's the yoke, as you can see. As you can see, this is my front part, and this is the yoke for it. The center front and both sides of it. This is where I'm stopping for today, guys. If you find my tutorial helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section below. You can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akorede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akorede Adenike. Till I see you in my next video, guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye bye.